thank you for joining us for another week. Great to have you with us this Friday night.
And can we just say big congratulations to Alyssa Camplin, who took out a bronze medal in the Winter Olympics yesterday. They're saying, you know, that these are Australia's most successive games ever. In fact, have we got the latest medal tally there? Let's just bring that up, please. Look at that, so competitive.
Good, isn't it? Yeah.
Thanks mainly to that gold medal won by the spam millionaire Dale Begg-Smith. But if we look at it, if we have a look at the tally now for medals won by actual Australians.
Yeah, not so impressive now, yeah. Look, I agree with the Prime Minister's line on this, though. You know, Howard said it doesn't matter that Begg-Smith was a Canadian, just as long as he wasn't Muslim.
And look, full credit to Dale Begg-Smith. I actually sent him one of those Herogram emails just to say congratulations, and he was really nice. He sent me a reply. In fact, my inbox was full of replies.
Oh, look at that. He's got so much time for his fans.
He does, he does. We've got a huge show for you tonight. Pamela Anderson, the Olsen twins and the Veronicas are all guests we were happy to let Rove have instead.
So the only person we've got left is Chaz Licciardello.
Now, I've been watching a fair bit of breakfast TV lately, and I've particularly been enjoying the battle between Sunrise and the Today Show, a battle which, incidentally, the Today Show always loses. And, you know, I think I know why that might be.
What you got up to? OK, it is having time when Richard is here on the show.
See, the real shame is they were actually doing all right last year with Tracy Grimshaw, I thought. They brought in Carl Stefanovic, he was great. They got themselves a new weatherman, Steve Jacobs, who's doing fantastic work, I think. They just needed better publicity, which is why I decided to promote them on Sunrise. After all, that's where all their viewers were. And to start off, I just used a few simple signs.
For him not to qualify. Well, that was his thing.
You can see in the background there, save Stefanovic and watch the Today Show instead. Now, that wasn't terribly effective, I admit. So I figured what we needed was for Sunrise viewers to see who they were missing out on. If you look carefully in the background, there you go! Carl and Tracy doing what they do best. And just in case you think they've had enough, they're back. They are not going anywhere.
I thought they must have been wagging.
So even Koshi's checking out the competition now. That was pretty good, but the job was only half done. So just check out the bottom left-hand corner. There you go. And that wasn't the end of it either. Just pay very careful attention now, because I'm very fast.
Having enough people to
Now, those cardboard cutouts were kind of fun, but what the people really need to see was the real thing. So out come the big guns.
On our website. And we are...
The actual Today Show. Turn around, Mel. Come on, Mel. There you go. Give us a wave. Mel loves it.
Hang on.
OK.
I wonder if this bit will go on their ratings.
They sure did, Koshi. And I'm sorry to tell you, but the Today Show beat you that day, thanks to me. Let's hear it for the cutouts. The only problem was I clearly demonstrated that you could win the ratings by simply using cardboard cutouts. So straight after that, Channel 9 went and got themselves one.
شنو هو الإعدام؟ صدام حسين قدم نفسه من أجل الشعب وهو طالب ثانوية أم لا؟ وهو واجبك وحقهم عليك الإعدام. محال للإعدام 3 مرات، هذه ليس المرة الأولى. من فضلك يا حضرة القاضي لا تقبل الإساءة إلى العراق. هل سألت نائب رئيس الجمهورية إلى نقض عن التعذيب؟ في وقت وتدلي به. لا ممكن. ثاني يوم مشكورة طلبت منه أن يرضى. ليس الحرس الشخصيين. حتى نعطيك معلومة.
Well, last week I introduced my new public relations service in the form of a discount store, Spruker. You'll recall I helped out Giorgio Armani
Boutique, boutique, boutique bargains. That's right, shoppers, it's $1,000 madness.
And the Department of Immigration.
Come on into Dimia, direct from Indonesia. Huge, huge, huge psychological trauma.
Well, this week I've been feeling very sorry for the Australian Wheat Board. So I thought, what better cure for their image problem than a repetitive, noisy spruiker turning up out the front of their office?
That's right, shoppers, come on into the Australian Wheat Board. Dubious, dubious, dubious contracts. They fell off the back of some Jordanian truck and now we've got them. But don't bring cash, we only use blood money. We fund guns, we fund grenades, we'll even fund moustaches for your body double. No bribe under $300 million. It's a massive, under-the-table bribery bonanza. Tell your friends, tell your family, just don't tell the Australian government. We don't stop at Saddam, oh no. We'll do Pinochet, Kim Jong-il, Genghis Khan, Pol Pot, we do a lot. It's an evil dictator fire sale. There's no tyrant we won't slip our brown paper back to.
This year, one big Australian faces his biggest challenge yet.
I pledge all my energies and my every working day to achieve it.
It's a journey of personal discovery.
I believe I've got a chance of turning things around.
A battle against the odds.
I've clearly got a bit of work to do.
A fight to lose more than anybody else. Follow one man's quest to lose 25 kilograms and 3 federal elections. Can Kim Beazley become the biggest loser?
Look, it's going to be a very big challenge for Kim. I mean, the people on Biggest Loser, what they've got to lose, say, 40 or 50 kilograms. Kim, I mean, he's got so much dead weight on his front bench, just to lose that alone, that's a hell of a diet.
And poor old Beazley, I mean, he's not faring any better in the polls, is he? I mean, in the last 27 polls for preferred Prime Minister, he's come last in 27 of them.
Right, yeah.
More people vote don't know than Kim.
Yeah, look, I reckon the main reason Kim loses those polls is because of the way the questions are asked.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask the questions just a little bit differently, I'm sure Kim would get a very different result.
John Howard always beats Kim Beazley in the preferred Prime Minister poll. Yeah. So we're trying to design a poll that Kim can actually win. So, out of Kim Beazley and Steve Vizard, who would you prefer as Prime Minister?
Steve Vizard. I wouldn't trust Steve Vizard as far as I could throw him.
OK, and you couldn't throw Kim very far at all? No. Kim Beazley and David Hicks, who do you think would make a better Prime Minister?
I'd definitely go David Hicks there.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, he's at least stood up to the Howard government on one occasion.
Yeah.
And John Howard seems to be genuinely afraid of him.
True.
Not letting him back into the country in a way that he's just never been genuinely afraid of him.
All right, so that's bad news for Kim on that one. Between Kim Beazley and Ivan Milat, who would you say would be a better Prime Minister?
I think Ivan Milat would be great, don't you?
Right, OK, certainly be strong. Why do you think Ivan, what do you think Ivan would bring to the job?
Well, he'd...
Other than, obviously, a string of criminal convictions.
Decrease the population, wouldn't he?
Yeah, certainly population control. He'd be pretty tough on immigration.
He would, wouldn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Between Kim Beazley and Adolf Hitler, who would make a better Prime Minister?
Oh, definitely Kim. Adolf's dead.
True, OK. Is that the main reason that you distinguish between them?
Probably.
Between Kim Beazley and a plank of wood, who would you say would make the better Prime Minister?
Plank of wood.
Oh, the plank more useful.
Right, OK.
Probably handles being walked all over better than Kim does.
Oh, well, Kim does have a lot of experience in that area. A choice between Kim Beazley and a steaming turd. Who would you choose as the preferred Prime Minister of Australia?
That one.
Right, OK. Why is that?
Well, I don't think a lot of Kim Beazley, to be quite honest.
Sure,
yes.
sure.
Yes.
Well, a lot of people say that
he's
they're more or less filled with the same thing.
They are, they are.
No, I'd have to actually go the turd there.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Why
so.
is that?
Well, I don't know. Just at least you know where it's coming from.
All right, so welcome to Famous Face-Off. This is the segment where we take two famous rivals and give them a special chance to settle their differences once and for all. Now, one of the world's most tongue-twisting professions is news reading. In any one broadcast, you range from Médecins Sans Frontières to Susumu Banbang Yudhoyono to Junichiro Koizumi. So tonight, probably get a job as one myself. Well, tonight, we're delighted to present two of our nation's finest newsreaders. Of course, they come from rival networks. Please welcome, from Sky News, Jacinta Tynan, and ABC veteran Richard Moorcroft. Yes. All right. How are you feeling, guys, about tonight? Are you feeling good? Feeling good? Excellent. All right.
Primed up.
Well, this is your challenge. We've got some breaking news that's just come in, all right? And we don't want any stammering, we don't want stuff-ups, because for every line that you fluff, I'm going to press this buzzer like this. And it's going to go like that. All right, guys. We'll start with you, Richard, at your desks. Lights, camera, bulletin.
The Australian Medical Association has created an urgent schools program to educate students about the more obscure aspects of health. The AMA claims young people don't know enough about polyadenylation, acetyl cholinesterase, adenohypophysis, cholecystokinin, eosinophils, erythropoiesis, hyaluronidase. This is very much like a bulletin in 1988 I once read. Juxtaglomerular epithelioids, and can't even tell the difference between a glycocalyx and glycosaminoglycan. Meanwhile, a wicked cricket critic's dozen double damask dinner napkins have made the sixth sick sheik's sixth sheep sick. Luftwaffe.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Richard Moorcroft. An extraordinary performance with a mere 11 mistakes. Congratulations. All right. Now I think we're just going to see how Jacinta Tynan performs. All right, Jacinta, are you ready?
No.
Fantastic. That's what we want to hear. Lights, camera, headlines.
Co-Kitcheners hot blocking me today as professional renovators debate the ideal colour scheme for a new high-rise development. While some argue for castaceous or chlorous colours, others prefer cramoisy, purpureal, hyacinth. That's right, hyacinth. Take that one back. Lutinos mellicris, ochrolicius, semi-sanguinus, smaragdine, infuscate, and zinniber hues. And this evening heralds the inaugural French Tongue Twister Festival. Here we go. The frenetic Franco phrase featured include je suis ce que je suis, suis, je suis. I didn't do French. C'est que je suis, c'est ce que je suis, and the ever popular gros grain d'orge, tout gros gras grand grain d'orgerie, comme de gras grain d'orgerie tout, j'aime de gras grain tout de grand tout le gras grain grain d'orgerie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jacinta Tynan. What an extraordinary performance with a mere 17 mistakes. Well, look, it's there in the ratings, I'm afraid. Our famous face-off has finally settled it. Ladies and gentlemen, the best newsreader in the world is Richard Moorcroft.
Now, Jules, in the last series we did for the ABC covering the election, we did a piece on boneheads. Now, a bonehead is the term that I think David Letterman originally coined for people who can't resist getting in the background of a live cross. Have we got that old clip? I'll show you what I mean.
They're a plague on election night, aren't they? We saw boneheads time and time again, including one who looked particularly familiar. Well, there you go, week 2, and we're already using old material, eh?
And amongst all of us, we've always been a little bit obsessed with boneheads, to the point we set Jules here a challenge.
Yes, that's right. I set up in the street with a film crew, pretending to do a live cross, and we placed bets amongst ourselves to see how many minutes would pass before we'd see a bonehead.
Let's see how we went.
Youth workers...
OK, so we'll take you... Oh, you're about coming up to 10 seconds in, and, gee, you've got the microphone technique there, don't you?
Well, that's an audition piece. I hope News and Current Affairs sees that.
This is pure Peter Harvey from the original days. Soldiering on... Oh, there's the bonehead. There's the bonehead. It didn't take him long, around 20 seconds, like a moth to a flame.
He was quality bonehead, but the problem with quality boneheads is that once you've got them, it's very hard to get rid of them. I did try and struggle on with that report. Kept on speaking, went through the whole process of talking about the problems that were going to happen, but still, he just...
Okay, he's back. He's back. Now...
We're actually quite good friends now, actually, yeah.
From one bonehead to another, let's catch up with Charles Firth, who recently hit the bonehead heartland of the American South, just in time for their annual gun show.
Americans love their guns. In fact, you're not a true American until you've put a gun to your shoulder and shot someone in the face. So I thought I'd find out what's so good about guns. First stop, the nation's gun show, where I met tons of gun lovers who I'm really glad own guns.
I am for guns. I love guns.
I see no reason for anybody to ban guns.
If they want to carry a gun in Texas into a church, I don't know why not.
You know, if you want a .50 caliber sniper rifle, more power to you.
Unfortunately, the gun show owners were a little shy of the cameras.
Fucking camera!
You don't need to assault me.
John, I'm down on the end by
I'm very worried because you are extremely angry and you clearly own guns. Shaken, I decided I needed something to defend myself.
The best way for a person to defend themselves is with a handgun. It's not practical to carry around a big stick. It's not practical to carry around a big sword or anything like that.
A quick lesson from Keith. And it was my turn for the sweet taste of American freedom. Giving Osama bin Laden the Dick Cheney treatment. This is Charles Firth reporting from the safest country in the world.
Welcome back. And when it comes to current affairs shows, you might be wondering how they set their journalistic standards.
Well, there are a lot of people who are saying they went out the window a long time ago.
Oh, not fair at all, because what makes these shows so credible is they use loads of experts.
Now, at first we thought it was very easy to spot an expert because they were the ones always taking books off shelves and pretending to read them. After we looked at a few, we realised we were very wrong. The more we watched, the more breeds of expert we discovered.
Like, for instance, experts who use mouses. Now, here they are, using mouses and being expert.
Another species of expert is this very specific one here. Now, this is the walking up to the secretary, talking to them and exchanging a file expert. It's a very specific type. Apparently, they're the flavour of the month at the moment. There's lots of them here lately. Some of them give the files back, of course. I don't know which is more expert. This lady here is particularly interesting. She hands a file to the secretary, who, without doing anything to the file, hands it straight back again.
Very impressive. Then there are the experts who flip pages. Now, these guys, they love flipping pages. In fact, this guy here is so expert, he can flip pages in both directions. But there's an even more specialised form of page flipping expert. Now, that's the breast implant page flipper. This guy here, he flips pages while he fiddles with breast implants.
Finally, the most common form of expert would have to be the experts who walk. Now, look at this guy. He knows his stuff. He's an expert. Oh, yes, they do an amazing... Actually, sometimes I think they're just walking in between their current affairs interviews. They all look very natural. Oh, look at him, completely at ease. Now, they're just everywhere on current affairs shows, these experts, but pay special attention to the length of this man's walk. And just as Pheidippides ran the first marathon, this guy has executed the longest walk ever seen on a current affairs story.
So you think it's over, don't you?
Well, no, it's finished now.
No.
There it is.
No, it's not.
No,
it just keeps on going. That's 4 separate scenes or half a day of filming.
Extraordinary. Now, his name is Damien Tudhope, and his walk was so long that Chaz and I tracked him down and decided to present him with a special award.
And we present it the way Damien would have liked us to, with a very, very long walk.
There it is. Congratulations, Damien. You've won this magnificent trophy for having the longest walk ever seen in a current affairs story. Well done.
Well done, Damien.
And he looks just as natural as his own walks.
He does. Well, look, it seems very easy to look like an expert, I know. So easy that we wondered if we could turn anyone into an expert, even this dog. To find out, we talked to an expert. So how easy is it to look like an expert? Look at him there, he's brilliant. He can read, he can pick books off shelves, he does the walk.
Doing the natural walk.
He's the expert's expert. He even uses the mouse.
He used the mouse, point and click. Oh, there we go. Hands the file to the secretary.
Let's hear it for the dog, the best performer on the show.
Good. Yep, good dog.
Well, there you have it. And we'll be back next week with another valuable lesson.
When is it going to end?
Good night.
Charlie, it's lovely to see you again. It's great. Just 10 questions. First, how are you enjoying Australia? Second, how long do you plan to stay here? Third, are you nervous about tonight? Fourth, what do you think about making this movie?
That is a lot of questions.
Fifth, oh, sorry, I haven't finished yet. What do you think about Kim Beazley's performance as opposition
I don't even remember
leader?
one anymore.
Sixth, do you think you'll win another Oscar? Seventh, how was it like getting your makeup done in Monster? Ninth, I was wondering, what do you think New Zealand should have signed the Kyoto Protocol? And 10th, who designed that wonderful outfit? Charlize, you haven't answered my first question. Charlize?
And in other news this week, former President Bill Clinton is in Australia and he's hoping to meet some top-level officials, politicians, businessmen and, of course, all 26 of the models from Deal or No Deal. Now, amid security fears, of course, Mr Clinton's asked for some extra protection on the visit, so a further 1,000 condoms have been shipped in especially for the visit.
The government will no longer be sending the AWB to Iraq as part of the Crisis Wheat mission. The Prime Minister says the decision has nothing to do with the recent scandals. He just couldn't afford the AWB transport costs.
Also this week, the Asian bird flu has spread to Europe and it's been spotted in a farm in France. That virus has now killed more birds than Dick Cheney.
One, yeah.
Yeah, just the one.
Scientists are also concerned the disease might be mutating after confirming the first reported case of big bird flu. To sport, and swimming superstar Ian Thorpe is in doubt for the Commonwealth Games after being laid low with a serious virus. Australian coaches have now put Craig Stevens on standby, hoping he can step in at the last minute and take Thorpe's virus.
Fair enough. Yeah. And, of course, in AFL, Ben Cousins has been in a lot of trouble, forced to step down as captain of the West Coast Eagles after a very humiliating drink-driving incident. Cousins says he's learnt from the mistake and from now on he'll always get Wendell Saylor to drive, so that should work.
And finally, in the good news story at the end, Tony Abbott was punched this week during a visit... during a visit to a psychiatric facility. The psychiatric patient has since been released after his actions proved he was totally sane.
That's it for other news.
That's it.
Should have been all right. Should have been able to handle that. Now, as you may already know, Tropfest is on again this weekend, the short film festival set up by John Paulson.
Yep, you'll be there, won't you?
No, I'm boycotting this year. I'm staging an official boycott after my own Tropfest entry was completely snubbed by the judges.
Oh, what's going on there? You're an auteur,
I'm an
Chris.
auteur,
You're an
I know.
auteur.
My films are too sophisticated, Chaz. People are scared by the ideas in them. But I think the other problem was, you know how in a Tropfest film you need to include a signature item?
Yeah, I believe it's the bubble this year.
A bubble, exactly. Well, I struggled a bit with that.
Oh,
I struggled with
really?
my bubble. I did. And I think that's why I didn't make the shortlist. My bubble was too subtle. Have a look at the film. I'll play it for you. Tell me if you can spot the bubble here. Hey, mate, hurry up. I'm absolutely busting.
Oi, mate, there's a line here. So have I. You'll just have to wait in line like everyone else.
Please, sir, can I just go in before you? I'm really, really busting. How about you? Please, you've got to help me. I really can't hold on much longer.
Sorry, mate. Can I help you?
What is wrong with you people? And what's taking him so long anyway?
sorry it took so long. Bubbles here had a few problems.
Now, did anyone spot the bubble? No.
So there's a bubble? The bubble's far more subtle when you're acting, I thought.
Yeah, I'm from the Rob Schneider school of overacting. But the good news is, even though Chopfest didn't like my film, it was deemed bad enough to play on Magda's Funny Bits next week, so that's not too bad.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Have yourselves a great weekend, and it's over to Andrew Hansen now to take us out on a musical note.
Thank you, Andrew.